Welcome to Porchlight Letters podcast number 2500, 2500. Wow, what a milestone we've made with that one. And I worked out, where did I write it? I worked out the other day what our 7-year show number was going to be. But I don't remember where I wrote it. I wrote it on something. 2,400, no, that's not the right number. Oh, I've lost the piece of paper I had it on. I will find it. It's going to be 2,500 and something. Because that's where we are. At 2,500. And we're only, we're in June. It's the end of July, which is 31 days. So that's 31 plus however many we've got left here. It is the 5th today. So 30, 25, 56, 2,556, I think is the number. I know I worked it out yesterday and I wrote it down and I got no idea where I put it, which is really weird because usually I remember where I put things. But anyway, welcome to show 2500. And today we get to talk about one of my favorite topics. Shared DNA does not always mean a close family relationship. No, it does not. And so let's have a look. Oh, where am I? I don't know what am I doing? I don't know. So one of the biggest misconceptions in DNA genealogy is assuming that shared DNA always means a close family relationship. It does not. Through shared DNA, I found a 7th cousin once removed who lives in Canada. And we were our common... It was on the Scantlebury line, because the Scantlebury line I tend to know a lot about because there's a guy, Richard Scantlebury, who has done a one-name study on the Scantlebury family. And I stumbled across him years ago. I don't even remember. I was probably researching the Scantlebury family. I stumbled across him years ago and we messaged backwards and forwards. I helped him fill in some missing pieces on his tree for my side of the family. He might have been his website I came across, and it's all on a one-name study, so you can trace everybody on the Scantlebury that he's managed to connect together. Now, he has worked on this thing for years and years and years, and he has verified all the information before he puts it on his tree. And if he hasn't verified it, he has a note there stating that it's not verified. But he also has a Facebook group for Scantlebury, for the Scantleberries as well. And we go in there and chit chat every now and again. In fact, I haven't been on there for a while, so I'll have to go back in. But anyway, so I threw a DNA match on my Ancestry file. Was it Ancestry? I think it was Ancestry. It was either Ancestry, 23andMe, or Family Tree DNA. One of those three, I connected with this guy in Canada who happened to be, and we worked out that he was my 7th cousin once removed. We had the DNA connection, but his was a very small portion of the DNA connection, and which meant that he is a very distant cousin. And so we, with the help of what I already had on my tree and with the help of Richard's website with the one-name study for Scantlebury, we worked out where he fitted in the tree, and he's my 7th cousin once removed. So I introduced him to Richard, who then put him into the talked about getting him into the Facebook group. Like 2 to 3 days later, Richard introduced into the Facebook group these two people from Wales, Graham and Kathleen. And it turned out that Graham and Kathleen were first cousins once removed from David, who lives in Canada. How cool is that? And so they turned out to be my 7th cousins, and he, of course, and David is my 7th cousin once removed. But to Kathleen and Graham, they're actually first cousins once removed, which was pretty cool. So they got to meet in this Facebook group. One's in Canada, the other two are in Wales. So really, really cool what you can do with the DNA and finding these connections and networking with. You never know where people are going to come from. You never know what the stories are behind them until you meet them. And I'm constantly on Ancestry working on my DNA matches where they're saying, oh, you've got this DNA match, and according to the centum organs that you have in common, you're blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, yeah, bull crap. Yes, I did say that. Because just because you have a number of centum organs in common doesn't mean to say that they are very distant or they are close. So you need to do the genealogy on it to work out how you are related. DNA will show you are blood related, that you have DNA matches through the centuries, but genealogy actually works out how you are related. And yes, Ancestry has this little chart there that says, oh, we think that you're this cousin. Like, what's the one I'm working on right now? Trying to see. They say that we have, we're less than 1% shared DNA, like 13 centimorgans on 2 segments, which is very, very, very tiny. And so they say that she is my half. They say this person is either my half third cousin once removed or my third cousin twice removed. And she appears on both sides of my family tree. So I'm working on what she has on her tree with what I have on my tree and seeing where I can find the connections so that we can see how we are connected. On those ones that where I've seen the 13%, I have had them be further away than a third cousin or twice removed or whatever, having them be a fourth, fifth, or sixth cousin, or even a seventh cousin. So, if you see the centimorgans there and you're looking at your ancestry one and they go, oh, you share this, which means that your relationship is blah, 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 take that with a grain of salt. Very rare, probably about or somewhere around 50% of the time when they give me those estimates, one of them may be correct. The other one's definitely not. And then I've found something completely different that is neither of whatever they suggested. So about 50% of the time, one of their suggestions is correct. The other 50% of the time, they are not correct, and I find it a completely different way. But it's really cool. So where was I? So that's one of the biggest misconceptions. So 2 people can share DNA and still be distantly related. In fact, many DNA matches come from common ancestors who lived hundreds of years ago. We're talking back to, you may get a DNA connection through, what's one of the ones I've done? Give me a second. I'm just trying to think of the connection that I have there. If he's 7th cousins, that means we've got 5th great-grandparents in common. Yeah. 5th great-grandparents. And for a 7th cousin once removed, I think it was 5th great-grandparents, because that's how I found out he was connected to Graham and Kathleen. So you never know what's going to happen. And now Ancestry has kind of cut it off, because it used to be that you could put that person is your 7th cousin and all of that. You could put the 4th cousins in there. Now, if it is not, if it is a 4th cousin or bigger than that, 4th, 5th, 6th cousin removals and blah, 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 blahs, if it gets to the 4th cousin, it's listed as a distant cousin, a distant relative. And I'm like, I hate that. And so, but I have a way of doing that, because in Ancestry, you can go and click on somebody's profile in your tree, and it gives you the relationship. That's really cool. That is really, really cool. So, actually, let me quickly get in here. I'm going to give you a demo of this. Where's one that goes back? I need the other side of the family. Just bear with me one moment, please. I'm just trying to get back a little bit here. Where is my... Yeah, we'll go up this way. Oh, there's Jane Vivian. Jane Vivian, her last name Vivian is actually the name where I got the name for Vivian Harper for one of my singers. For On the Outside Looking In. In fact, let's go look at what does it say for her 3rd? Oh, we can go back. We can go bigger than that. I think, yeah, because she's my 3rd great-grandparent. 4th great-grandparent, I should say. Okay, we're going to go back to 1776. 9th of November 1776, when Edward Scantlebury was born. And I'm going to come over here so you can see this. This is really cool, because this is what Ancestry will do for you based on your direct line. If you are the head person on this, let's blow this up a little bit. It says right here that he is my 6th great-grandfather. And that relationship there is back to the home person on the tree. I am the home person on the tree. And this here shows that he is my 6th great-grandfather. In fact, I can even go back another generation to 1694. And I've got a 7th great-grandfather. But my 7th cousins, they come off my 5th, I think it's 5th great grandparents. I have a cheat sheet. Hang on. Yeah, 4th great grandparents puts you at 5th cousins. Yeah, so my 6th great grandparent. Oh, actually, that one that we were just on, Edward. Where does Edward go? So Edward and Pingelly, they are the ones that I have in common with the ones that are in. Actually, that's not right. 4th great grandparents. Come down here. It's 5th cousins. Fourth is 5th cousins. So 5th would be 5th great grandparents would be 6 cousins. 6th great grand. Yeah. So this 6th great grandfather is the common. These are the common grandparents I have, Anne Pengelly and Edward Scattleberry, that I have in common with my 7th cousins in Wales, and my 7th cousin once removed in Canada. And I can't remember which way down one of these it goes. I know it goes down the male line for a while till it gets to the female line. But this here tells you what the relationship is to the home person. So if you're the home person, you can come in here. If I wanted to have a look at this one, Edward Scantleberry, probably the wrong person to pick, but let's have a look and see what he says. Oh, yep, he's my 5th great granduncle. So he is not my direct descendant. He is one of the side ones, which one of them will go down somewhere along the way. But yeah, that's how you can get. So yes, so you go back hundreds of years on this thing. Where am I on my notes? So as generations pass, DNA segments become smaller. Some ancestral DNA is not inherited at all, and relationships become harder to identify through DNA alone. This is why when you have siblings, try and get as many of the siblings' DNA tested as possible, because they are going to have some stuff that's in common with you. But because you get 50% from your mum and 50% from your dad, you don't get the exact same 50% chromosomes from mum and dad. Only if you're identical twins with it. Identical twins, identical twins, triplets, whatever. Then you get all the same stuff. Then you get the same DNA. But if you are siblings, and if you've got like 6 or 7 siblings, get everybody tested. Because the more you can test, the further back you can go, the more solidified you can have on your thing. Because as that just said, that some DNA, ancestral DNA, is not inherited at all, because it depends on how mum's DNA and dad's DNA do their combo thingy-mabob when they get together, and which segments of the what combinations that they pass along to you. So there will be some that are very similar to your siblings, and then there'll be some that are not. And we have found that there are times when you get the DNA profile and you've got the DNA matches and stuff, that some siblings will have connections to some cousins that the other siblings will not. So that is, yeah. And that is why you need to get as many people done as possible. And especially if you are a female, make sure you get your closest male to do a family tree and me DNA, because they test the Y chromosome, which is only passed from father to son. Only passed father to son. Daughters don't get a look at that one. But if you want to see where your father came from, because you can trace back to his haplogroup and see where he originated from. My haplogroup, when I looked at the map, is somewhere around Ethiopia, is my haplogroup, which is, we're talking generations, centuries ago, where my ancestors originated from. My female ancestors originated from was the haplogroup H, which is I think it's H. Which is somewhere near Ethiopia. So you can look at that too. So hang on, I'm getting myself lost in my notes. That's why you, so if you take into account that DNA segments become smaller, but the further back they go, some ancestral DNA is not inherited at all, and relationships become harder to identify through DNA alone. And that's why you may share DNA with distant cousins, multiple branches of the same family, people connected several generations back, matches whose exact relationship takes significant research to uncover. And DNA is powerful, but context matters. A DNA match is only one piece of the puzzle. One piece of the puzzle. Genealogy research helps determine which ancestral line the match belongs to, how closely connected the families are, and whether the connection is recent or distant. Which record supports and which records support the relationship. DNA provides clues. Records, timelines, locations, and family trees help explain the bigger picture. Because shared DNA confirms there is a connection, genealogy helps uncover the story behind it. And you've heard me talk about this book before if you've been following me for a while. This book is magic. This book is written in plain English that somebody like me who doesn't have a scientific mind, I have a mind that wanders. If it gets too technical, my brain checks out. My brain has not checked out on this book yet. In fact, I was just looking at it and going through some of the notes that I had in here. And I was trying to figure out how can I show this, but I haven't figured that out yet. But when you come in, if you grab this book and go to chapter 4, it talks about the autosomal. Chapter 4. Where did chapter 4 go? I know it's here somewhere. It's got a big chapter there on autosomal DNA. This is the one that matches you up with your cousins and other family members. So this is the DNA test. This is the one that you need to talk about. The other ones that are in here is the Y DNA, the X DNA, and the mitochondrial DNA. Mitochondrial is this mitochondrial DNA testing has a huge impact on people. This is the testing that the military will do when they have unidentified bodies of servicemen and servicewomen that they can match back to the mother, because the mother passes mitochondrial on from mother to child, mother to child, mother to child, mother to child. And that's the one that they use to test if they have any unidentified servicemen or women. They can use that to track it back to find out who they are. So very, very important little thing. But only Family Tree DNA is the only one that does, the only one that I know of out there that does Y, X, mitochondrial, and autosomal. It does all 4 of the main chromosome groups. But this book is invaluable. I love it. I was reading it just before I got on here, just brushing up on my DNA stuff. So even though I did the course over a year ago, I think it's going to be about 18 months. I did the course 18 months ago because I graduated from it in December of 2024. And this was the last course we did. I still refer to this book. I'm in here maybe once or twice a week in this book, diving in there to get an answer for a client on DNA and how it works. So yes, I have learned a lot from this book. The link for it, if you want a copy of it, the link for it is in the description below. So go down there, have a click, and you can go look at it. But it is, out of all the DNA books I have on my bookcase, which is probably about 4 or 5 of them, this is the one I go to the most because I understand it. I can comprehend it. It's not as technical as the other ones are. But with that, we are out of here. That is the end of episode 2500. I can't believe we got to 2500. So I'm going to be at 2556. I think that's for the right number. I'm going to have to go because I need to come up with a surprise for those that join us that night. But anyway, I'm out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. Hei konera.